All right, it's your boy Spankdog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Puffinstein 514 at Twitch and BC Spankdog at Instagram. Let's get it shaking. So they had a country western singer on Saturday Night Live. Turns out that he's a conservative or a far right Republican, if there's a difference. And SNL, if you're uptight, SNL is not the place you want to go be a guest star. You know what I'm saying? So he went on, they did their thing, which they're burnt to a crisp on Saturday Night Live, which means they got a good sense of humor. As a matter of fact, it's far-fetched. So they only pick people that are absolute hilarious for that show. So he goes on the show and he catches feelings, and we're gonna get into the video right now. Let's get it shaking. All right, people.
All right, I genuinely find this story hilarious because I love an open display of fragility from white conservative men, and not just conservative men raid. And then they're all confused, like, what? Green Yemen raid? What are you talking about? And then someone's like, we're 5 minutes to go until the missile coordinates are locked in. And then Pete Hegseth pops on screen, or somebody playing Pete Hegseth. And we get a whole segment of them just tearing into the incompetency of the Trump admin. The people playing teenage girls are like, hey, you know you're not supposed to be in this group chat. And Pete Hegseth just keeps doubling down. He's like, hey, let me show you where all of our nuclear bases are. And then they bring in someone playing JD Vance. So the point is, Morgan Wallen had to sit there and watch.
You know how Saturday it is. I've been watching them since what's his name? Garrett, I forget his Garrett Morris, Jim Belushi, Aykroyd, Steve. I've been watching them for like 40, 45 years. They've always been like this. It's no holds barred. If you go on there as a guest star, you got to put on your sensitive, bulletproof. You know what I'm saying?
Watch as SNL just tore the Trump administration apart. And that's kind of SNL's whole been one of the most popular shows for decades now. They've always been pretty political, or they make fun of the current administration. That's just
which Baldwin brother does Donald Trump. Oh man, that is hilarious. What is that? Alec Baldwin? It's Alec Baldwin, I think, that does Donald Trump. He does the best Trump impersonation I've ever seen in my life. I can't watch it. Like, I'll start, like, I won't be able to breathe. It makes me laugh so hard.
Part of the shtick. So after this happened, we then got all of these headlines. Fox News said, Morgan Wallen walks off SNL stage, returns to God's country. And I'll play the clip in just 1 second. But they're claiming that own the liberals so damn hard. One person said, Morgan Wallen walks the fuck off stage without shaking hands with the demons on SNL. F them communists. He probably had to do the appearance, judging by his demeanor. Then he posts a photo of his jet and says, get me back to God's country. Okay, number one.
Anywhere in the United States, you could find a place that's not good at the moment. You could find people that are slimy anywhere in the United States. Just like vice versa, you could find good parts everywhere in the country, and you could find good people. But for him to act like, let me get out of, let's see, even if it was just city, not even state, like not everybody in the city, it don't even matter. What you were getting upset about wasn't like you acted like cool. And then, like I said, he got blown up the N-word. So stop acting like you're on a pedestal, like you don't make mistakes. None of that. That's a real bad make. You got to be real to be racist. And I don't say anything about I don't say derogatory slurs towards any race. At one time when I was younger, they thought they would say certain stuff. On the Jeffersons, they would say crazy stuff. And there were certain racial slurs that people pay mind to. But it's not like that now. So I refrain from using any derogatory slur towards any nationality. And this guy's over the N-word and getting offended because 4 women playing teenage girls made fun of MAGA and the far right.
One, he didn't have to do that. whatsoever. He didn't have to do the performance at all. He decided to walk off stage in a performative way because he knew that it like he's being persecuted and all of the people he's trying to play to would love it. And keep in mind, Morgan Wallen is no stranger to controversy.
That's another thing, him standing. It looked to every far right, conservative, he looked like he stuck up for them.
Said the N-word many times a few years back and got in big trouble for it. We also know that in 2016, he was arrested under DUI. 2020, arrested for disorderly conduct. 2021, viral video using the N-word. 2024, reckless endangerment. 2025, rushes off SNL and posts this on endangerment. 2025.
Man, this guy is a saint. Let's hear that again.
For it. We also know that in 2016, he was arrested under DUI. 2020, arrested for disorderly conduct. 2021, viral video using the N-word.
We get knocked out for that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying no violence. I'm saying you can get assaulted for saying that in front of the wrong person.
2024, reckless endangerment. 2025, rushes off SNL and posts this on his story, a photo of his private jet saying, "Get me to God's country." Now, everyone
nobody don't care about your private jet.
Read this basically the same way. When he rushes off stage at SNL, which I'll play in 1 second, and then immediately posts on his story, "Get me back to God's country," he's saying, like, get me away from those who are all gay and trans. Like, he's being a conservative saying, get me back.
You forgot the hoodlums.
Back to God's country. But the thing is, this dude isn't a soldier returning home. He's not a missionary escaping hostile territory. He's a country pop star who booked a gig on the biggest comedy stage in America.
He couldn't take the pressure.
And got a little uncomfortable because, I don't know, there was a gay person on set or whatever.
Sensitive.
The dude could have said no. He could have refused this PR engagement, but he didn't because he wanted the exposure. He wanted the ratings. And
he was thirsty.
If you watch this clip, it really seems like Morgan Wallen wanted this exact moment.
You're a thirst boy. You want to go on Saturday Night Live, and then when they roast you a little, they didn't even roast you. They was roasting. There's two parties, Democratic and Republican. They roasted the Republican Party, and you caught feelings. I mean, that's a real broad audience fun, and you caught feelings still.
He wanted this moment.
Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you.
I promise you that was performative for a few reasons. Now, first of all, you can't really hear it.
And I mean, like I would have. They wouldn't have even seen me at the end if it was really like that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have touched that hand. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have even have been there. And if I was, I wouldn't have said goodbye to her. Nothing. If it was that serious, like if I was that bad, you know, like you know, and keep thinking that it was him that he read the comment. That wasn't Morgan Wallen's comment. That was the guy from Twitter. So, you know, I haven't even really heard. I don't want to get on him too much, but still, you know, it wasn't the
important, just so you can watch it. This is performative for a few reasons. First of all, it is known on SNL that you stick around and you talk to the cast and crew. It's like,
let me tell you something. Normally, I probably wouldn't have even have covered this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wouldn't have been the dude to use the N-word and throw stones, you know, because he's talking like that, got a record, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, you know, if certain things, I wouldn't have even have covered it because I would have felt like I'm trying to blow another man up, and I don't really get down like you know what? Like I said, right now I do type stuff, and he made the news acting like a child. And you know what? I don't even want to call people out their name. I'd rather say making a mistake, you know, and it's not like hate the man. You know, we all make mistakes. It's how he handles it. And like I said, the things it's crazy because probably the deciding factor in me doing this video is the fact that he used the N-word. You know, that's when don't spare him, you know, because cross that line.
Does here. She turns around and talks to the cast and crew. By the way, I love
not having that
great
shit.
Actress. Morgan Wallen immediately walks off without.
You say the N word, you get punched in your face, you know. And like I said, I'm not saying me, but said you say the N word, you know, and somebody strikes you, shot, you know, but not that I'm promoting violence or anything like that.
Without saying goodbye to anybody other than Mikey, and then walks towards the cameras. This is
Who cares too? Like what thing cares that he left and didn't say goodbye or anything like that? I would have been happy he didn't say goodbye.
not his first
I would have been waiting for him to leave.
time on SNL. He's been on SNL multiple times. He walked in the direction of the camera, so he took up the vast majority of the frame, and he did this performative stunt where he now thinks he's the victim. And the thing is, I'm not even this dude isn't even, I don't even think I've ever seen this dude in a MAGA hat yelling "Go Trump," but he's a country music singer who's used the N-word and wants to go back to God's country. You can safely assume this dude is conservative, and he's kind of using SNL as a proxy, just culture war, when you don't have to do that. Everybody welcomed you there, bro. I also heard reports that he did this tonight.
I don't think it was that serious to that guy Morgan Wallen. First, I'm not into, like, even though he made a mistake, though they said he used the N word, I still don't have hate for that man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he trying to be a piece of crap. I think caught feelings. I think he really believes in the MAGA Republican voting for Trump type thing, that when they did what they did and got on the group that he cares about, I think he caught feeling, and he acted how he acted. To me, to be honest with you, I think it's what he. I don't think it's a major thing where we should put him under the spot like this. Like I said, the factor for me is probably the N word. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I do content, and he makes the cut. You know what I'm saying? We not having that N-word stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna talk how it is, like how I'm with people, and I don't even care about that. That's none of your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is when people drop the N-word, the hard ER, there's problems. You know, that's something I stand on. I'm willing to you know, like that time they started popping, it's like that.
Before, while they were rehearsing, he just walked out of the rehearsal without saying goodbye to anybody, which is incredibly disrespectful. Someone tweeted out Morgan Wallen when he got to SNL and found out that non-white people and gay people worked there. Ooh, so spooky. And it's someone walking away crying. We also have SNL writers this morning shooting back at Morgan Wallen. Josh Patton said he's a fan of the country music star, but now he's making fun of him. People have been posting funny stories saying, "Get me to God's country." And it's like a photo of a Krispy Kreme, or someone posted a photo of them driving to Subway and it said, "Please."
He messed up with the God's country line.
"Get me to God's country." Obviously just making fun of Morgan Wallen's incredibly dramatic post. Again, this dude is basically posting like he's a soldier returning home from, and he's like, "Oh, I literally barely made it out of there." Dude, you're a country pop star. Get over yourself. And again, in the cold open of the show, they talked about Pete Hegseth. They made fun of Pete Hegseth sharing war plans with high school girls. I'm not going to say that's the entire reason Morgan Wallen is mad. I don't think it is. I think there are just a bunch of things that came together to make him realize, number one, they hate.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he caught feelings. He cares about that group. They made fun of the group, and that's it, period. He caught feelings.
The Trump admin. Number two, he's probably standing around minorities and he can't say the N-word openly. But also, like, dude, come on. He said he's back to God's country, but someone did the research. The hometown that he lives in, that he was heading back to, has a high poverty rate, a low median household income, some of the highest reliance on food assistance. And I'm not saying any of this to look down on the people in the town. Please don't mistake it like that. I'm just saying, if you're going back to God's country, God really isn't taking care of his own country, man. How come the blue states have way better education rates, less household poverty? I mean, if this is God's country, doesn't care about you all. Sneedville also lacks major grocery resources, forcing residents to rely on food pantries. I mean, it also has drug trafficking. This is the hometown of Morgan Wallen. And listen, I grew up in Indiana in the Midwest. I have friends from all over the Midwest. I understand this, but I would never smugly go to New York and then on the way back saying, I'm going back to God's country, the only country God cares about. And it's like bumfuck Indiana, some town that really isn't doing too well.
He killed it. Yo, yeah, listen, man. I can't, I'm because Mockler just killed it. He broke it down. He's dropping science today.
I would probably be more focused on helping my town than doing performative stunts on SNL, but that's just me. And there's a deeper point here that I want to make before I close this off, and it's that Wallen is selling a narrative. Morgan Wallen is a very, very manufactured country artist. It seems like yeah, I'll chug a beer and drive but no, his whole image is very manufactured and intentional. So he's doing this whole routine now about the city is too woke. It's honestly just the exact inverse of the so-called wokeness that Morgan Wallen complains about. This grievance, identity-based culture where you're mad at people because of who they are.
Yeah, it's just like what is it with this whole part of the world, whole state, this whole nationality, this whole workforce? Like, why do you label? Like, don't you know that there's good in everything? The bigger the population, the greater of a chance there's definitely somebody good around. Now, if you're talking about 3-4 people, that's different. But once you start to hit higher numbers, there's good and bad in everything, man. He talked about New York because he was, like I said, getting out of city. Sin City's a good movie.
So on the jet, by the way, that was the encore. That tweet was equivalent to a merch drop after you do something crazy. Like after Trump got that mugshot photo and he tweeted out after and dropped merch, that's the exact equivalent here. When he drops this and he says, get me to God's country.
It's called not keeping it official.
It is purely performative. And I'll leave it at that. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about Morgan Wallen. Do you like his music? Do you like listening to?
No, I don't. I already know. I'm not big on country, but it's all, there are certain country songs that I to drop a like drop some subscribers. But yo, big shout out to Mockler. Like I said, he put out the chart the other day about that he's doing. This guy is putting up numbers, man. God bless him. God bless y'all people. Much love to y'all. Much love to even Morgan Wallen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't hate the guy. He did some bozo stuff. Yes, definitely. If I think we all make mistakes, I think him saying the N-word in that fashion is a very, very egregious mistake. Yes, that's a big. You don't do that one. That's crossing the line. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. You already know what it is. It's your boy Spankdog. I'm out.